So now that NeuroSonic has official development releases, since .NET Core 3 has finally been released, which is what NeuroSonic is built on, I wanted to take everybody through a bit of rudimentary setup. If you haven't already updated your operating system, right now we're only officially supporting Windows, go ahead and grab .NET Core. That should be in the latest releases as of yesterday, 9/23. It's as simple as just downloading for whatever operating system. Again, we only currently support Windows, but it's almost Linux and macOS compatible. Grab your runtime for desktop apps right there, do whatever setup you need, and get back over to here. Again, it's only on Windows. Here's some brief, basically what we're going to be talking about getting this set up. So back here, you're going to want to go to our releases tab, which I link to everywhere, probably will be linked in this video description. You're just going to download the NeuroSonic zip from wherever. I'm going to stick it in my development area. It'll be its own separate folder. Shouldn't take too long to download. It's only a couple. Yeah, whatever. Cool. Let's take a look at it. Come on. Finish downloading. I don't have editing software. I can't deal with you. Where the fuck are you? Thank you. So, you're going to get a zip file. There's nothing in the zip file. That's just a folder, so you'll want to extract to its own folder. I don't do folder in a zip file. So there's NeuroSonic. It's in our own directory now. The file you're looking for is NSC Core 3.0 exe. This is why you need .NET Core, because that is what it's built for. Should be as simple as just running the program, and you'll get the AutoFX splash screen. I'm going to go ahead and maximize the application here so we can see more of it. This will be your main debug menu. Eventually this will be prettier. What we're going to do first is just click Enter to go into our input method and select what we want to play with. I'm going to be doing the tutorial for the UONCon because that's what I have, but choose keyboard only if you're a keyboard player. Do keyboard and mouse if your controller is a keyboard with mouse inputs on the knobs. You should be able to figure out what you're doing. I will leave it on keyboard only to show you what this next menu looks like, and then we're going to go switch over to the UONCon for the actual bindings. You'll next go to Input Configuration, and you'll see this quick layout of what the controller looks like physically, with a couple of reasonable defaults based on what usually is a default, I guess. This is not a good keyboard player default, but I think it's the SVSE5 default key configuration. Anyway, so you'll have to hit Enter again to go into this Configure Controller Bindings option. I'm not sure if there will be multiple options. I'll probably remove this if there's not, but you'll have to hit Enter again, and then you're able to arrow key around up and down to select whatever you want. We're going to go back and actually do this for my controller, though. So I just hit Escape to get back to the main menu. I'm going to select UONCon. What I'm not sure about is there is still a bug with it actually recognizing your controller after you've selected it. We might have to restart this to get it going. So I'm going to go down to, I know BTD is not actually 4 on a UONCon, it is 7. Picked up my controller. So you'll hit Enter. You won't see a change, but it will be waiting for your input, and then you'll hit your gamepad button or your key binding. Or, actually, I will go show mouse stuff, I guess. When you're doing laser stuff that aren't keys, for a game controller, you should be able to turn the corresponding axis, so all I did was move my right knob to set that to 1 instead of 0. I don't do that for mouse movements because it's easy to bump your mouse while you're setting up the controller. So for mouse, or alternatively for mouse, you just hit X or Y on your keyboard for the axis, or 0 or 1. I believe both of those work. Let's actually go take a look. If I do keyboard and mouse and go into my configuration, it says X or Y. So let's go set this to Y and Y instead. Yes. So, there we go. Back into my UONCon. We're going to go also set up the back button because I am going to make the side button my back button. Cool. Leaving that menu, you'll then have the configuration. Now that we have our controller set up, we can actually start using it to navigate menus. So I'm going to do the rest with the controller from here on out. We're going to hit Start to select either the multiplier mod, the mode mod, or the constant mod. Currently, constant mod and mode mod are the same thing. Oh, it did not pick up my left binding. It did not pick up either of my bindings. That is interesting. I will restart my game then because my bindings are not quite working as expected. There are still some issues with initial setup for the controller. Not a huge deal, I will fix them. I should be able to now go in here. There we go. Cool. I play on mode mod. Constant mod will be different in the future. The current way it's implemented, it is not any different than mode mod. Mode mod is just pick a BPM. The default scroll speed will be tied to that BPM. So we're going to select mode mod for my purposes. Go down one. The navigation controls are down here. The capital ones are for your controller. The lowercase ones are for your keyboard navigation. So I'm using BT A and D to go up and down. BT C and D are not listed here actually, but those are left and right. So I will click on with my start button, and I will use BTD to go to the right. I can use BTC to go to the left, and if I hold FX, it goes by a smaller distance. So holding FXL, I can go by 5s. Without holding FXL, I go by 25s. So I'm going to set this to about 800. I think that's where I'm happy. Video offset is going to change where the notes are visually on the screen without changing where your timing lies, which can help you line up your timing a bit better if it's less an auditory issue. I know I like to play between 10 and 15 millisecond positive. Input offset is the actual time between when you usually hit a button and when you hear the sound, and that can be either just due to the way that you perceive music or your audio hardware having a delay to it. I tend to play with about 40. I just got these because I've played a whole bunch. Left and right laser hue are the color of the lasers. I will leave those at default. I will explain the timing calibration menu, though I recommend only using it as a base. Use it to get a rough idea where your values might be. Play a couple of songs and adjust it accordingly. Because the difference between the timing calibration and the actual gameplay are significant enough that you're not going to get the same results for both. So use it to get a close approximation and then refine it from there until we have a better calibration menu. It'll boot up with this ticking sound. You're going to want to hit either your spacebar or any of your BT buttons. So right now I'm getting about 35, which is actually pretty close. I might lower my thing. If I hit FXR, that will then take me to the much quieter video tuning. I'm going to do the same thing. Every time it flashes yellow and gets bigger, I'm going to hit my BT buttons, which gives me actually -9, which I've not been very comfortable with. So we'll just take the average and leave it back at 0. If you hit start, it will save your configuration. If you hit back, it will cancel your configuration. So I'm going to go up here and actually set this to -5 instead of 0. We're going to see what it looks like. I'm more comfortable playing with it ahead, but we're going to see what happens. So there's my configuration done. Whew. Dinner is not a good time to film. Then we're going to go to the chart manager layer. You're going to skip the first option because it's not done yet. That's how you'll boot into the chart select layer of the game and kind of get the game rolling from the debug standpoint. When the menu exists, it does not exist yet. If you go to it, it's just a nice pretty old background. So we're going to get out of there. When you go to chart select, the conversion thing, the second option, it will take you to this built-in file browser because we're trying to make this cross-platform. The cross-platform stuff does not support a GUI right now, so we're just going to navigate through this built-in one. There are no controls at the bottom because I was lazy and didn't do it. It's still BTA and BTD to go up and down. It is BTC to navigate up a directory, so we're going to go out of NeuroSonic into AudioFX, out of AudioFX into my B drive, and then I'm going to use A and B to navigate to where my charts are. They live in K-Shoot Mania. I'm going to hit Start to go into a directory. It wraps around. I can hit BTA to go up into my songs directory, and then I'm going to look at, let's see what I've got downloaded from Nautica. If you hold FX, it'll go by 10 instead of 1, so I can skip around here and actually take a look at whatever I want. I'm going to pick Night Sky. So we're going to hit Start, and you can see all of the KSH files associated with it. I'm probably going to try the highest difficulty and see what happens. I don't remember if it's the second highest or the highest that I can play. This is totally fine. And then the game starts and you're good to go. Now we're just going to stop it there. It'll give you an ugly looking score. score screen that I've got to touch up, and the only other thing being to leave the score screen, the back button doesn't work. You have to hit the start button. You can't hit escape or enter. Only your controller start button will work because the score screen works a bit different for right now for testing purposes. That should get you started with the game. If you have any issues, please navigate to the GitHub repository. There should be an issues thing up here. If it's a legit issue, if you're like, man, I'm confused about something, maybe consider hopping on the Discord that you can see in the README. Just click on that, join, find me. My name is Local. You can, am I on my Discord? I am. You can hop over here, talk about it here, or just DM me directly. I'm friendly, I swear. I'm a bit sarcastic and a douche, but it's okay. And I hope you enjoy.